Hello everyone, I thought it was time to do a bike check on my Saracen Ariel LT 2018 model year. There's been quite a lot of changes on this bike since I bought it. By quite a lot of changes I mean I've replaced every single component other than the frame. But we're going to go through the current spec. I'll say what was there before and maybe the reasons why I've changed. So start at the front I suppose. So what we've got here is some Hope Fortus 30 rims on Pro 4 hubs. Originally you got the DT Swiss M1900 rims wheel set on these, and I changed that out for a DT Swiss E1900 set, largely as it was wearing out, so new wheel set. And the E1900 front wheel just started to show some play after 100 miles. I can't be doing with that level of unreliability, so I switched to Hope. And luckily, touch wood, not had any problems with these, or any of my Hope rims within reason. So these are on a Maxis DHRII tyre. Originally you get two sets of tyres with these. You get DHFs on tan wool, and you get a set of DHR2s, non-tan wool, they were black wool. The DHFs I never got on with, so I was only running DHRs. But originally this bike was supplied with tan wool as part of its promotion. So when the tan wool DHR2s became available, I put a set on. They're not the most robust tyre from a tyre wall point of view, so I'll probably end up swapping back to the traditional black wool at some point. I've got the latest Shimano Icetech Rotors for 6-bolt, 203mm rotor size front and back. I've run many different discs over the years. The standard disc setup was 180mm. Basically I wore them out, so I've tried the Uberbike Components radiator discs on this before. They work quite well, just slightly heavier than these. It's a good disc from a heat dissipation point of view, so from a braking force point of view, it's a great disc. From a reliability point of view, especially in storage, they tend to bend quite easy, so if there's a slight knock or anything, you end up having to true them back out. The front brake is actually the rear brake as well. It's a Shimano XT M8100 4-pot brake set. As standard, you've got the M8000 2-pot brake set. Good brake set. I actually put them on another bike, but I had to free up I needed another brake set for another bike. It made no sense putting 4 pots on that bike. So I thought if I'll just buy a 4-pot set for this one, transfer the 2 pots to another bike, jobs are good ones, that's what I did. But yeah, the original brakes were good. There's not much difference in terms of overall braking force, to be honest. Probably quite controversial. 4-pot, 2-pot, as long as the ceramic pistons, quite frankly, there is not a massive amount of difference between them in terms of absolute brake force. So the tyre setup, I'm using the Uberbike Components tubeless setup. As standard, these come with inner tubes, as you generally get on any bike off the shelf. The front forks, these are Fox 38 factory, 180mm travel. Great fork, really like them. As standard, you get the Fox 36 170mm travel, still a factory edition fork. Whereby with these you have the grip 2 damper, absolutely brilliant. You get the fit grip damper with the standard fork, which good but not as good. You get quite adjustable compression, but the rebounds not as tunable. Whether that matters or not really depends on how you ride, I suppose. Cockpit. First of all, handlebars. So these are Enve M7 handlebars. I love these handlebars. They are pretty good, to be honest. I've never had a problem with Enve bars. As standard, you got the Enve DH bars. Great bar as well. Only reason I swapped them out, I was building another bike. This sort of bike with a, you know, like any other modern bike, a 35mm bar clamp area bar just looks a bit better. Whereby the other bike I was building, a 31.8mm bar would have looked better. So that was it really. It was just I bought it to use the bars that were on here on something else. That was it. I've got the Unite stem, Unite Renegade stem. It's a great stem as well. By standard, you get the Saracen branded stem. Never had any problems with it. Only swapped out because I swapped the bars out, so I needed a bigger clamp stem. I had a race face stem on this between this stem and the original stem, and absolute garbage, to be honest. The stem's job really is just to clamp the bars to the stem, literally, and it never really had good clamping force onto the stem. It kept coming out of true, so I changed that out. I've already spoken about the brakes. Grips, ODI grips. Really do like these grips. It's what I've seemed to have settled on. They are a bit hard in terms of the feel, but I wear gloves anyway, religiously, so that's not really a problem. But they do provide a lot of grip, and they're a good bar. They're good grip. Standard, they came with some Saracen lock-on grips. Yeah, they're a bit crap, to be honest, but you're going to change them anyway, so yeah. Top cap, you get a Saracen top cap as standard, but this is a nuke-proof Wahoo top cap, which allows me to put my Wahoo device there. I'll get on to more about the dropper setup in a moment. In terms of gear setup, originally these came with a Shimano XT M8000 11-speed drivetrain. I upgraded this to 12, so it's all Shimano XT M8100 drivetrain on this bike. The frame, so frame's original. I have got some damage on the back end. I have got a spare back end. I just haven't had the inclination to deal with it yet. Not that it's caused any structural issues or anything, it's just cosmetic. But I've had to change a headset bearings a few times, and actually in the end I ended up having to change out the headset cups as well, which is still available from Saracen, but these seem to be of a better design, and they seem to protect the bearings a bit more. So yeah, I think they might have changed the design at some point, or I just had an off manufactured set previous. But yeah, that's all new cups and everything else, new bearings several times. That's all good. I had to replace this bolt as well. But I think other than that on this frame, I think that's it. So moving down. Saddle, you get it's like a core or something as a standard saddle. It was absolutely horrible. It was like sitting on a piece of wood. Yeah, so WTB speed, which has been my go-to for over a decade. Fox transfer, factory post, 150mm dropper with the remote. You get some off-brand one originally, which never worked properly, to be honest. It wasn't a KS one. I know Saracen switched to KS, but no, it was worse than that, to be honest. It was a piece of crap. So yeah, we swapped it out for a Fox item. The shock, so this is a new development. This has only been on for a day at the time of recording. I went to Bike Park Wales almost 2 weeks ago, and whilst I was there, my Fox X2 decided to give up. I didn't realise until about 4 days after, when I was just doing a post inspection of the bike to see what might need dealing with, because it wasn't feeling quite right at Bike Park Wales. So you know, I was doing a bit of an inspection and found, yeah, that basically it was just leaking oil out of various orifices. So the quickest method of getting this bike back up and working was just replace the shock. So the guys at JTech did a really quick turnaround on this. luckily had the size and everything I needed in stock. And yeah, they have to custom tune EXT shocks to you. I haven't actually ridden that yet, but I'm going to the Black Mountain Cycle Centre the weekend, so you'll probably get a good workout then. And as I mentioned before, we've got the whole Shimano M8100 drivetrain on this, so that includes the cranks, 175mm with a 32 tooth chain ring. Got the DMR vault pedals on this. I've been running DMR vault pedals on this since I bought it, and they don't come with pedals as standard, so yeah, it's not like you replace anything. The bearings, I forgot to mention bearings. These basically get replaced every 12 to 18 months, and I tend to use Enduro bearings. The bearings that come with these bikes are not the best. They're quite cheap, so if you have bought one of these, definitely worth changing the bearings out. This is the Rock Guard's carbon bash guard. It actually sits there, it actually clips around the frame. It's quite a nice bash guard. It has obviously taken a few bashes as per its remit. The Unite chain guard and chain retention, or chain bash guard, so it protects there and retains. The standard one is an MRP item, which I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but I ended up taking it off when I went 12 speed. I could never get it to adjust right. But yeah, these are quite easy to set up and actually work really, really well. I think about 60 odd quid, so they should really. Again, so you know, rear cassette, it's a 1051. The chain, it's all XT M8100 12 speed, and the brake system at the back is exactly the same as the front. So recently gone 203mm at the back as well, which is the reason why I swapped out the discs back and front. I found that it would actually fit, so that's the clearance, and it's not bashed into the frame yet. So yeah, it's all good. These adapters, so you get the Shimano brake adapters as part of the initial build, but I've gone for these Uberbike component ones because it's what I could get hold of at the time. Uberbike component stuff being generally very good anyway. But that's it. I mean, I've got a Unite seat collar to put on, which I haven't got around to yet. But that's my bike. So this is my favourite bike, as I've probably alluded to before, several videos. Even though I've got newer stuff, I've got an e-bike, all the rest of it. That is my favourite bike, sort of spec I want. So yeah, hopefully the new shock proves useful the weekend, and yeah, thank you for watching.